southwest corner of town. If you know anybody around this area, if you're in Tallahassee, be in your safe place right now. This warning is still in effect for 16, 17 more minutes till about lunchtime, till noon. And there's a good chance that we're going to be crossing right down through Capitol Circle Southwest into Capitol Circle Southeast, because that's where this storm has been tracking. It's moving east at 55 miles per hour. We're about to get to the cone of silence. You might miss a scan or two because it is about to track right over the radar site. That's where it is. This is moving east. And again, we're going to be heading kind of in that southern Tallahassee airport where you see the Woodville and the Crawfordville highway split. This is real close to Florida A&M's campus. If you know any students at Florida A&M, if you're there, you really need to be in that safe place right now. Small interior room. It's going to be a bathroom. It's going to be a closet. It's going to be on the lowest floor of your house. If you're in a dorm and you're upstairs and you have to run downstairs, knock on a neighbor's door, make sure that you are getting in a safe place. We're streaming this coverage on Facebook Live as well. This is that area that I have circled. If you're just joining us, I'm really closely zoomed in on the Tallahassee International Airport. There is a possible tornado there. I just heard our printer run, so I'm going to step away from the screen real quick, see what the latest update is from the National Weather Service, if we just got one. But that area that's circled on your screen, it's right on top of the airport right now, and that is the area where there would be a possible tornado. This, in my knowledge, has not been confirmed yet. Again, the latest updates that I'm getting off the printer, just confirming that that tornado warning for Gadsden County has been canceled. So you're in the clear, Gadsden County, got heavy rainfall, strong storms. This is the area that we're really keeping our close eye on. We're going to be zooming out for a sec here. I'm going to try to give you a really close look of exactly where this storm is. Let's see if our hand tracker's good here. Looks like we're good still. Again, this is right on top of the airport. Let's give you a zoomed out look. Folks in South Tallahassee, this will be passing through the area within about 10 or 15 minutes or so. Got this warning in effect till noon. This is about to cross through the airport. Let's draw the latest storm track, try to get some arrival times for you. We're on top of the cone of silence now, so we're probably going to miss out on about 1 or 2 scans while this crosses right there over the airport. If you continue to go all the way about 55 miles per hour, well, all it's going to give you is Tom Brown Park at 8 minutes. But if you're familiar with the Tallahassee area, the southern part of town, sort of flirt with that Capitol Circle Southwest, toward the Crawfordville, Woodville highways, eventually east down Orange Ave, all the way to Capitol Circle Southeast. Any of those folks in that area get in your safe place. Anyone around the rest of Tallahassee going to want to get in your safe place right now. I'm going to pull some more papers off the printer, and I'm going to be back with you here in 1 sec.
And while Reed is checking that again, we are in a tornado warning this afternoon. It is now 11:46, and this tornado warning will be underway until about noon or so. Again, right now we are tracking a storm that is capable of producing tornado-like winds up to 55 miles per hour. But like as Reed was just telling you, so far we have not gotten any confirmation that a tornado has touched down in the Tallahassee area. But right now this is impacting all of the Big Bend you can see here. And if you can hear outside, that rain is coming down very, very hard. So if you are anywhere in the metro Tallahassee area and also parts of Gadsden County, make sure that you are taking cover. If you cannot get to the lowest level of your home or into a bathroom or into a closet, again, just make sure that you are taking all the necessary precautions. Again, we have not confirmed that a tornado has touched down, but we are continuing to monitor this situation. And again, we are under a tornado watch until noon or so. Got a couple of updates on power outages right now. Talcon Electric is reporting 70 outages right now. The city of Tallahassee, I'm looking at their map right now. So far, they're not reporting any outages. In Thomasville, we've got about 9 people without power right now. In Duke Energy in Crawfordville, we've got about 4 power outages so far. So again, we are under a tornado watch until about noon or so. Your time is now 11:47. This is impacting all areas of the Big Bend right now. Reed is still checking to get the latest from the National Weather Service. But again, right now we haven't had any confirmation of any tornadoes touching down in this area. Again, I'll go over some of those power outages for you. Right now, the city of Tallahassee is not reporting any outages, which is good news. But so far, Talcon Electric is reporting 70 outages right now. Duke Energy in the Crawfordville area is reporting about four outages right now. And checking in with Georgia Power and Bainbridge, they've got 5 outages. In Valdosta, about 16. And in Tifton, about 5 right now. And Thomasville Utilities, looking at about 9 people right now that do not have any outages. Let's get it back over to Reed.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. We are getting wording from the National Weather Service. I was just checking some of the message boards there from them, and they have radar confirmed it. They said they saw a tornado debris signature from the Tallahassee radar as this storm was just west. And if you were with us about 5 minutes ago, you heard me mentioning that this storm was really crossing right over the airport, and it was about to go right over our Tallahassee radar site. And it does look like the National Weather Service has confirmed that we lost that kind of communication and that connection from the Tallahassee radar. So whether this is a confirmed tornado or not, and whether it was just gusty winds, we do not have the Tallahassee radar anymore. The storm traveled right on top of it. And again, we saw that very tight area of rotation. So what we're going to be doing now, we're going to be tracking this storm from different radars across parts of southern Georgia, across the Big Bend, whichever one gives us the best look at this storm. And I'm going to tell you, it's not going to be kind of as clear and concise as the Tallahassee radar was giving us, but we can still get a really rough look exact where we think this storm is. It's traveling east at 55 miles per hour. This tornado warning is in effect for all of Tallahassee, but that rotation itself was right on top of the airport. It's going from west to east. So they did confirm there was some sort of debris signature, which would usually indicate that there's a tornado on the ground. This was right before it approached the airport. And since then, it has crossed the airport and that radar site, and it's going to be traveling east. And so I'm going to try to give you a rough idea, and again, without the actual radar site at Tallahassee communicating and giving us the latest scans going from other radars, you could have some sort of margin or error, and this is going to further emphasize the point of how important it is within the entire tornado warned area of being in your safe place. You're definitely going to want to be in your safe place right now. Look at the warning. This does include areas like Lloyd, Cody, I-10, just into Jefferson County. Our Jefferson County folks, the storm's probably about 20, 30 minutes away. You want to be in your safe place. Tallahassee, most importantly, this storm, if it traveled over the airport and it was working east, we're going to be talking about roads like Orange Ave, Capitol Circle Southwest, heading toward the Crawfordville, the Woodville highways, and eventually toward Capitol Circle Southeast, over toward those areas. And let's see, let's zoom in, get you that zoomed in street look. Spring Hill Road, Ridge Road, over toward Blairstone Road. Those are all the areas that could be impacted by this possible tornado. National Weather Service wording said that it was radar confirmed with the tornado debris signature, and that would match up pretty well with us losing the Tallahassee radar site as this storm went directly over it. Right now, this is a look from the radar in Valdosta. And Valdosta, a little bit further away. So we do have that margin of error while tracking where exactly the area of rotation is as we speak. I'm going to tell you, it's most likely in Tallahassee, right around the southern part of town. Anyone in Tallahassee right now, you need to be in your safe place as this tornado warning has been issued. Looks like a new warning was just issued. Yep, you can see it. This is a much bigger one. And so we're going with the bigger polygons right now further east for our Jefferson County folks. How long is this warning in effect till now? 12:30. Got a while that we're going to be under tornado warning, folks. As long as that rotation stays tight, we're going to be on air with you. We're going to be online with you as well. That gives you 40 more minutes of tornado coverage. So that means 40 more minutes to be in your safe place for everybody in Tallahassee. And as I mentioned, this is going to be kind of a more coarse view of the area, a rougher estimate of exactly where this storm is, because I am thinking that we are losing connection with Tallahassee radar for a bit here. If this potential tornado and this storm did knock out that communication, you can see the shear rate that we were showing you earlier. This essentially covers the entire east side of Tallahassee. No matter where you are in Tallahassee right now, going to want to be in your safe place. If you got where that is going to be a small interior room on the lowest floor of your house. We are getting some more information from the National Weather Service, so I'm stepping over to the printer to see what they are bringing us. The new tornado warning, west central Jefferson County, that is along I-10, and southeast Leon County until 12:30. They have confirmed it. The emergency management has a damaging tornado. This will be approaching these areas toward the rest of eastern Leon County into Jefferson County, moving east at 55 miles per hour. So, folks, if you are along I-10 in Jefferson or anywhere in Tallahassee, make sure you're getting in your safe place right now. We're going to toss over to Brian for a sec.
And we've got an update on some of the power outages that are being experienced due to this storm. Again, Reed just mentioned about some of the areas that have been impacted so far. Right now, the Talquin Electric is reporting about 70 power outages right now, checking with the city of Tallahassee. So far, no outages in the metro Tallahassee area exactly. Moving into Georgia now, Georgia Power is reporting about 5 outages in the Bainbridge area, about 16 in the Valdosta area. In Tifton, right now, they're seeing about 5 outages. And in Thomasville Utilities, as of right now, they're reporting 9 power outages so far. Taking a look at that map, you can see that this storm is just huge. It's all over the Big Bend and South Georgia. Again, we are under a tornado warning. We will be with you right here on air until 12:30 as we continue to track the latest with this storm. Again, make sure that you are taking cover and getting to your safe place until this storm rides out. Again, we will be on air until 12:30 for your coverage of this tornado warning so far. Again, going over some of those power outages. Talquin Electric is reporting the most so far. They're looking at about 70 outages so far. Let's get it back over to Reed, who has an update on where we stand right now.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. So as I mentioned, that latest update from the National Weather Service, they did say that this tornado was confirmed by emergency management down near the airport. And it's been moving east at about 55 miles per hour since then. So we lost the Tallahassee radar. Right now we have to use different radar sites. And what we've been looking at here, your storm relative velocities, this is not the traditional radar view that you're used to seeing. You see these bright reds and these bright greens. This shows inbound and outbound winds toward the radar. And when you have these tight couplets with a bright red and a bright green next to each other, that usually indicates an area of rotation. And when you see that, you can kind of decipher where a tornado would be. So the one kind of disadvantage that we have right now is that we don't have the Tallahassee radar anymore. That would always give us our best view closest to the ground. We have to use different radar sites. So we have Valdosta, we have Panama City, but this is giving us a very elevated look into the atmosphere. Not exactly the ground truth sometimes, but what we have is a very kind of coarse look. And it looks like from the Panama City radar, that area of rotation that I have circled on your screen, this is right now in the eastern half of Tallahassee. We can look at the Valdosta one and see how that matches up with your storm relative velocity from Panama City. That's going to be a better look. Kind of roughly matches up, folks. This is going to be right east of Tallahassee now. Looks like we're just starting to cross Capitol Circle southeast, Capitol Circle northeast, right down the Appalachian Highway. And what I have circled is where that area of the most likely rotation would be. And you see those lightning strikes. You got a couple that just popped up. That is a sign of some strengthening. So this storm really has not been losing those rotating characteristics and the reasoning for it being tornado warned. You definitely want to still be in that safe place. So again, we are starting to transition out of that kind of city proper, the downtown area, the airport area in Tallahassee. We are leaving and we are going down the Appalachian Highway further east, eventually into Jefferson County. So the early heads up for Jefferson County, you're still under a tornado warning until 12:30 p.m., as is Tallahassee and Leon County. You don't want to let your guard down. You want to be in your safe place. And what we're still looking at here, that storm relative velocity, the shear rate, let's see how that matches up, kind of right around the area that I circled. And it is moving east at 55 miles per hour. And one of the reasons that we have not been as zoomed in as earlier is because, as I mentioned, I don't want to start rattling off street names because this is definitely going to be a little bit less of an accurate, a more coarse look overall at where this threat is. When we're using the Tallahassee radar, we're essentially shooting right on the ground when you're within city limits. And that's going to be your best view. We're just leaving Tom Brown Park, it looks like. Kind of a rough idea of exactly where this area of rotation possibly would be. And I still think that this area, kind of from the Valdosta radar, is probably going to give you the best idea. If you don't know what you're looking at, bright reds, bright greens, that's going to signal some sort of rotation to and from the radar. So you have this area of red, and then you have this area of green. Where they kind of come together, that's going to be exactly where you would expect that tornado to be on the ground. And again, there is some margin of error here since the radar site is kind of far away. We're removed from it. Can't see from Tallahassee right now, but we are moving right down the Appalachian Parkway there. This is just to the east and the southeast of Tom Brown Park, and as this storm continues to move east, we're probably going to continue to see this warning stay in place. And you're looking at right now, Tallahassee, this is where the tornado warning is. I want to give you a traditional radar look real quick, just to kind of give you some bearing of what we are looking at.